Hello, dear viewers, and welcome to a new week on Month of Monsters. When you last saw me, I was but a werewolf. For many things have happened over the weekend. I hope you enjoyed those little interludes, those little nice little extra things I left for you. In the meantime, I went on quite a harrowing journey. I went all the way down the road, and at the end of the road, I was given the key, the solution to my werewolf curse. You might wonder, well, why are you all bandaged up? Did you go through a horrible fire? Did someone, kill you in the middle of the night and now you've revived through another curse that will keep you living forever and ever? No, my dear viewers, the solution was this. The invisibility formula. This has been in my possession the whole time. I didn't actually have to go down that road. I had a moment of clarity. A moment, just a mere moment of clarity at the very end of that road. And after drinking the serum, it cured my werewolf curse. However, if I was not wearing all of this, you would have nothing to look at. And therefore also YouTube would demonetize me, and we don't want that either. Now, what is going to happen on this week of Month of Monsters, you might ask? Well, appropriately, as I am now wearing bandages as my default look, we're going to be looking at, characters and monsters that feature bandages in some form. A lot of these end up being mummies, but that has nothing to do with my current condition. But today, of course, we're going to look at what else but an invisible man. So this invisible man will tell you to join me on this adventure. Hello, this is Soundout here, and welcome back to the Month of Monsters. This week we'll be talking about characters who have their faces covered and might have something to hide. Today's episode, The Invisible Man. From the 1897 novel by H.G. Wells, The Invisible Man is Jack Griffin. He, of course, is a scientist who drinks an invisible formula. This allows him to become invisible, but it also grants him insanity. I promise you, my dear viewers, that none of the insanity will come from my version of the potion, for as you can see, it's in a different bottle. Now, when we're talking about the Invisible Man, the most visual version I think most people will go to is the 1933 film by James Whale, starring Claude Rains. This would be Universal's first Invisible movie, followed up with 5 sequels, but Claude Rains would not return to the role in any of those. In terms of the actual Invisible Man's look, you can see similar things are going on here. I take inspiration from movies, and when I turned invisible, I thought, well, I gotta dress the part. It's just how you have to do these things. Toy-wise, the Invisible Man has been quite underrepresented. Because he is a universal monster, but because he is a guy in a suit or a guy in a bathrobe, the Invisible Man just doesn't get toys. In fact, there are 2 that's coming up that I wish were out in time for this video series. That's just not how the cards fell. First of all, we have Jada Toys' Invisible Man, obviously based on the bathrobe look, one that I think is quite spectacular, and it looks to be an excellent figure, but won't be out till 2023. And Neca's Ultimate Invisible Man is based on the suit look, and unfortunately won't be available till later in 2022. If only both of these had come out in September, we'd have a lot more Invisible Man to talk about. However, we do have 2 options here. The first one is made by esteemed company Mego. I'm not sure if they're esteemed actually, but Mego themselves have made a couple different Invisible Man figures, and we have their first attempt. A nondescript one, a non-universal one that lacks a little bit of flair, but is kind of an interesting figure. And the other figure we'll look at is, well, it's a little surprise. I had a little bit of invisible formula left over after my transformation, and honestly, I think you'll quite enjoy what I've cooked up for you all. So, on that note, we're gonna go marching and looking for nuts in May, and we're also gonna be looking at the Migo Invisible Man, and that little bit of a surprise. So stay tuned, because we're transitioning, eventually, right now. So Migo's first attempt at an Invisible Man is something strange. It's not really any particular Invisible Man, it's just a general idea, and we'll look at him in a moment. Now, there was a proper Claude Rains-inspired Universal Invisible Man released later, which I do not own for various reasons, but we'll not be talking about that today. Looking at Migo's first Invisible Man in their modern line, you can see that this is a man in a suit, with his head uncovered, and therefore clear plastic is underneath. A very interesting choice indeed, indeed, indeed. Looking at said clear head, it is a generic man face. There is nothing unique, nothing exciting. It is a person who is invisible, an invisible man. The suit isn't anything to write home about either. There's buttons, there's a jacket, there's a tie. It's a suit. I don't know what we're expecting at this point. Down to his shoes, his pants are generic. He's just wearing a suit. There's nothing quite to it. The articulation I've shown on a Mego figure multiple times in the Month of Monsters. If you need me to describe it, you can go see other videos. This one is just the same as all the others. I don't have anything else to say. Now, this Mego figure does come with some accessories. First of all, the invisible potion in a beaker. I've tied it to his hand with a rubber band because he cannot hold it otherwise. He also includes a dumb pair of glasses. Who would imagine putting sunglasses onto an invisible man? Maybe somebody, but with them out being molded to his face, they look ridiculous and it looks insane. There may be a reason for the invisible head. For all Mego figures have the same action figure body under cloth. Removing said cloth will reveal that everything underneath is a clear plastic. It simulates the Invisible Man experience in a way that other figures will not. In fact, more so than Mego's second attempt where they had a plastic head wrapped in bandages. This allows you to have a clear figure. Clear white plastic has been used many a time in different action figure lines to replicate an invisible person, whether it's the Invisible Woman from Marvel or the Invisible Man here in Mego. It is a common technique, and it works quite well. Of interest to Mego collectors, you can actually see the rubber bands that connect the hips to the arms. It's the only Mego figure that's truly transparent. You can see where all the joints work. It's sort of a behind-the-scenes look at what makes a Mego. You can also see on the back that the Mego stamp is prominently made. This allows you to know that this is a true, genuine Mego figure. The clear plastic is an interesting choice, but I think it could be improved upon. Behold! The Invisible Action Figure. This is my own creation. I took the invisible formula and applied it to an action figure, and thus I present you a completely invisible action figure. This is the point where I'd say, look at the head sculpt, look at the details, but you can't because he's invisible. Isn't that astounding? Isn't it amazing? Isn't it easily losable? Looking at the torso detail, it's impeccable. There is the full detail, the full range of a man as an action figure. But as he is invisible, he is so hard to see to the untrained eye, to those who cannot see the invisible. I even managed to make sure that the legs were fully transparent to not leave a shadow, to not leave anything behind. A true Invisible Man action figure must not be seen, must not be heard, must not be available. The articulation range includes a head that is swiveling left and right, side to side, up and down. You have shoulders that move out, shoulders that move forward and back, an elbow bend. An elbow bend, a wrist swivel, and in and out hinge. You of course have a torso ball joint that works as a waist. You have a moving forward and back. You have hips that move out, hips that move forward, knees that bend, and of course ankle articulation. My invisible action figure is the best one of them all. It doesn't matter what Jada or Neca or Mego makes, they'll never top my genius when creating the one and only invisible action figure. I hope you enjoyed the invisible action figure. I just had to make it after I discovered this formula. It's unlocked my mind, the potential, the opportunity, the ideas. I feel better than ever. There's no werewolf curse, there's no bloodlust, there's nothing else going on behind these bandages but invisibility. There's nothing at all. It's great. Everything is wonderful. And I can't wait to show you more. We're gonna continue with these covered faces tomorrow. There's going to be a new surprise, a new beginning. In fact, a phantom invades an opera. I can't wait to show you, and I hope you will stay tuned till tomorrow, my friends, for Month of Monsters continues all month long.